Thank you for tuning in. This is a One Up podcast. It's also streaming live right now on Facebook and Instagram. And to catch the video, you can go to amena.media in your browser, and that will go to the YouTube channel to see all these videos. Today, this is a series called Message of Hope. And in these Message of Hope, we're sharing real stories from real people that come in and share their stories of struggle to success. Today we have Jesus Ortiz. Is that correct? Did I say your name?
Ortiz.
Okay. Jesus Ortiz. And he's going to share his story with us today, and how his story really focuses around his daughter and, just having her in his life. So we're going to find out about how she's made such an impact in his life and what changes that really brought to him. So, Jesus, so tell us about your daughter.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me in your show.
Oh, well,
I'm
thank
very
you
blessed
for
to have it.
coming.
Oh, no problem. I love, interviewing people since I have my own show too, and get an interview, and I tell them people, you gotta tell your story. Everybody has more than 5 or 10 stories, but you have that main one that changed your perspective of looking at life, and that to me, my story of that changed my perspective of life was my daughter, because I went through a lot of things. Her name is Melina Ortiz, and she's 7. She's about to turn 8 next month in July. Um, but that's back in the. Well, let's go back when everything happened. I was together with my ex-wife, and while we were together, everything was good. Everything, like everybody else, you're fighting and regular, relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But it passed it that I started waking up myself. I started waking up and seeing the world different. I was like,
Now,
there's more to it.
yeah, okay. I was going to say, how do you explain like a wake up? What would a wake
Yes.
up
Yes,
be?
I started following Gary Vee, and I started following Grant Cardone. I started watching a lot of people's video, and I started just kind of asking myself questions like at night before I went to sleep. And I was like, I want to do something, in my life. I want to create my own wealth, create my own legacy, so I can help myself and my family. But how do I do that? It was in my head. So I started waking up, and I
Yeah.
started seeing a lot of people doing the marketing, like what's it called? MLMs. So I
Oh,
was
yep.
like,
Multi-level marketing. Yep.
multi-level marketing. So
Yep. I have one company that's based on that too.
I started just going out there and paying attention to a lot of people doing this, doing that. But my mentality was just like, oh, you get in there, you work a little bit, you're going to get a lot of money. I was getting awake, but I had no coach. I had no mentor. I had nobody to tell me, hey, so slow down. This is how you got to do it, and this and that. So I just kind of woke up myself. And while you're waking up yourself, it creates, if you're in a situation where you have a family, kids, and you're married, that's on me. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but I kind of like the communication was kind of just going down on the family side, because I was focused on like, oh man, I got to make money so the family can be good, so we don't have to struggle if anything happens later on in the years.
So
But
it became your main focus. It
it
became
came
like everything. Yeah.
everything, but it was bad because when you focus and you don't have nobody to help you because you're a newbie on waking up and seeing there's more to life. So I was like, what do I do? And I didn't go out there and look for nobody to help me, even though I did join an MLM, and I was all excited going to their stuff they had, and
The events, yeah, the
the
events are amazing,
events.
aren't they? Yeah, I'm a
And
part of one, so it is amazing. Yeah.
the one thing I learned was that I got motivated so much by the events, but I was too much. Myself, I knew it was too much talk. I was too much. I was too much talk, but no action. That was me. I was like so happy. Yes, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna create my own team. I'm gonna create that. And when the MLM people, trying to help me, I was blocking them because I thought I knew everything. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I know. I'm gonna sit down and see who I'm gonna call. And I was like calling, and then you get depressed because like, oh, they tell you no, and no. And I was like, oh, and I was like just putting myself down. And I was like, is it work? And is it gonna work? People saying no and telling me to get out. This is just a scam. All of those things. Negative, negative, negative. And at that time, I was nothing but negative. Like my whole body, my spirit, I was like negative. I didn't have like not a lot of positive in me. So everything that was coming in was
So at that
affecting
time,
me.
how long since you started that business with the MLM company that you were in?
Oh yeah.
How long were you doing it by yourself until I guess you decided like, hey, this is, I'm getting more depressed than I am better, you know?
Yeah, I stayed. It was the Melaleuca. I started with them,
Hmm.
and I really like the products and everything, even till now. And I was there for maybe a couple of months, maybe say 5 or 6 months with them,
Okay.
6, 7 months.
Yeah.
And I really, and like I said, I went to the events and they take us to, sometimes here, like the lakes here in Houston and stuff. So I was all in there. But like I was saying, I didn't look for no coach or mentor. So that was affecting my personal life because my wife was there with me. She was like, I'm going to be there 150%. And I was like, all
That's
right,
good.
so you got support, you got
Yeah.
support. But even though I had support, what about my support of somebody teaching me, mentoring me and going
That's
the right
true.
way? I didn't have, but I was so selfish that I didn't want to look for that. Even though there was people there that can help you, in the Melaleuca, there was a lot of people. Hey, how can we help you? I was like, no, I'm good. I know I'm good. And I would be saying that I'm good. I'm gonna do it slowly, and that didn't happen. I was trying to do a lot of things, but leaving the miscommunications over here because my wife had diabetes and I had to really take care of that because that's how we had our baby. So let me cut this right here. We
Okay.
couldn't, I couldn't have my baby girl because when I met her and we were together, she had her diabetes so high that the doctor said, if you are trying to have a baby, because we actually talked about it, having our first baby, they're like,
Yes.
you have to work together and put her level of the diabetes down because if you don't and you have the baby, you're gonna have to choose on one's life, either your wife gonna live or your baby. I
Wow.
was like, oh no. I was like,
Wow.
no, I don't want that. I don't want to be in that situation where I had to pick.
Choose. And then how did your
Yeah.
wife feel about that? I bet she was,
Oh
pretty
yeah.
distraught too.
Oh yeah. So we were together in there with the doctor, and we were like, oh no. So we asked her, so what do we do? What are the next steps so we can actually do that? And said, well, you both have to change the. Well, they were telling me so that I could, support her.
So you could
You gotta
support,
change
yeah. So you were
support.
like, you didn't have support, but you were supporting your family financially and emotionally. And then,
Oh
of
yeah.
course, you both wanted a child, so you had to like figure out the dynamics on how are you gonna, help her like get better and struggle with diabetes and what is that gonna take? And so it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot all at
It's a
once.
lot. It's a lot. Yeah. And when the doctor told us what to do, so I was like, all right, we're gonna create our own food and I'm gonna eat the stuff that I didn't even like,
Yeah.
but to support her. So a couple of months passed and we did it together. We were exercising and everything. Then we went back to the doctor and I was like, oh man, because the doctor called me first and I was like, oh man, am I in trouble? No, man, she's like, I have good news. Her level of diabetes went below what we expected. So congratulations to you because you actually, supported her and you did this and that. And I was like, all right. So I was happy. And then they brought her in and they told us everything. And she was like, whoa, she was happy. But their doctor was like, I know that you did it, but you got to keep on having that level because if you just keep on eating everything again, then her level can go back up because of diabetes. So we were happy and we decided, all right, we can talk about how we're going to have a baby and stuff. So we were trying to see what was going to be the options.
Mhm.
And then we did. I remember still this, that we went to the doctor a couple of months later and we didn't even know she was pregnant. So until like we went 2 times and she was already 2 months pregnant, but we didn't even know. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, and she was still good and healthy, doing her diabetes, her taking her medicine and everything. And we were happy, we didn't know what we were gonna have, and the whole family, because everybody in the whole family was boys.
Oh.
So we
So
broke
you
that,
found out, yeah, you found out that you were having a girl.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
great. That's great.
we we broke that rule. Like the family, my mom was happy. She's like, all right, no more boys. Now we're having actually a little girl. I was like, and I was happy. And then we, getting into what was gonna be her name and everything. So we decided to name her Melina.
Yeah,
And
very pretty.
and when she was born, I mean, everything was good and happy. But when she was born, I lost my job, and I was most of the time at the hospital, and I was still, so negative that I didn't want to go back where I was used to, because I used to be a waiter. I used to
Okay.
wait in a restaurant because
Yeah.
my dream was to like be in the restaurant business. That was my dream,
Yeah.
and I actually
Own a restaurant?
like run a restaurant. Like,
Like run a restaurant. Yeah.
yeah, they gave me like if I was a CEO, but I was running the whole situation, and I actually
So
make
you had
that
the
come true.
experience, but
So
you weren't at the point that you were gonna go off on your own.
yeah, so I actually made that happen. That was when I was 18 or 19. But that was like before I even was together with her. So that was at the age when I was like, that was my dream to do that restaurant business. So
Yes.
like, see, my story is so huge that it goes back and forth. But we'll talk about the restaurant just a little bit. So I made my dream come true when I was like age 18 or 19.
Okay, so
But
let me see if I can piece it together. So when you were 18 or 19, you had a restaurant,
no,
and
no, no.
then
I was
you
working
were
for
working for a restaurant.
yes. I
Okay.
started in the bottom. I started in the
Okay.
bottom and I started just moving up little by little because at that time I was shy. I didn't even know how to talk to people. Like they gave me like when they say you're gonna be a waiter and you gotta get the people's food, I was like, oh, this is not for me. I'm not a talkative person. I
Yeah.
was like, but my friend said you need the job. My friend hooked me up with the job, and my friend said you need the job. You need to,
But it was
you're
your dream.
18.
So it was your dream job at the end.
Yeah, it
And
was my
that's
dream
great.
job.
That's great. So then, okay, so you had the waiter job. You worked your way up. You learned all about the food industry and how to run the business. And then, when you got married and then had your daughter, then I guess at that time you were still working the restaurant industry. Is that
Yes, I
correct?
was working. I
Okay,
was working the restaurant business, but not the same. Like when
a
I
different
finished,
one.
yeah, it was a
Okay.
different restaurant. Like I got
And then
out.
they let you go when you had your daughter. And then was that a struggle, or like what did you do after that? Because you just had your daughter, you finally had the little girl you guys all wanted. But then now you were facing this other hurdle with a new career.
Mm,
So how did you shift that? You said you didn't stay in the restaurant industry. Is that when you
mhm.
joined the multi-level marketing or community marketing company?
Yeah, around somewhere when I was doing the other restaurant,
Hmm.
that's when I found the MLM, and
Okay, so it was a
hold
little
on.
bit before there. You were kind of doing a little
No,
bit of both.
yes, I know it was a little bit after. It was a little bit after because I know I remember that when I was with her in the hospital, I was still not in the MLM when we had our baby. I was still not with the MLM. I think my little girl was maybe about to be. No, no, you're right. You're right. The same you think because I want to get it straight because I got out of the MLM and then I got back. I'm remembering when I
The
got
same.
back in the
Okay,
same time,
the same one though.
and
And
I and I
what is the company focus on? Is it in health or travel?
yes,
There's so many
the
different
the health products, like
health products.
shampoos,
Okay,
yeah, and
okay,
and they had cream and everything. It was good.
yeah,
The
yeah.
company it was good,
I just was not
and
sure because some based on food or like supplements. I know mine's supplements for energy. So they're all a little bit different because they're companies.
oh yeah,
Essentially they're a company, and you get to be a partner. And then the higher you go in the company, the more benefits and the more ownership of the company you get. And I'm putting this out there for everyone as well, because if you're not familiar with how multi-level marketing works, or community marketing, that's how it works. So you start basically as a rep, and then you work your way up and build teams and train people. And as you teach people and grow your team, you get to own more of the company. So that's how it works. I just wanted to make that simple and clear for everyone that's listening. So you were already in the company that you were that you did the products. And so are you still a part of that now,
no,
or
no, I'm not.
okay?
Like I was saying, when I was at the beginning, I joined with them, and it was like 6 7 months, and then that's when it was kind of becoming the communication and all of that I was explaining. And I
Hmm.
remember that I just got out. I just said, no, it's not for me. I'm not doing anything. It was too much negative on me. Like I was saying, I was at that time, my mindset, there was like no positive in me. So I left
Because
it.
you tried to do everything yourself, and you
Yeah, I
just
was trying to do
you
everything
didn't,
myself,
yeah, you didn't
and it didn't work.
listen to like the people, I guess, that were trying to train you. I can understand that because we at I guess that even a teenager or even adult, we always feel like we know more than everybody's telling us, right? So it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I got this. I know what I'm doing. I've had business experience. This is just the same thing, and I'm just gonna run with it. So I totally understand that. So you said you did mention at the very beginning that you and your wife did separate. When did that happen? Was that
That's
during
the main.
another turning point?
No,
Okay.
this is where I'm gonna get. I'm gonna go back a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you your question.
Okay.
That's when that's my main story of my daughter. I'm just gonna forward everything. When she was around 2, I think, and like I said, her diabetes was already spiking up and going a little bit bad here and there. And I still remember this. We were at the apartment, and she asked me. She was cooking, and she was like, "I need to go to the hospital. I need to go and put myself in the hospital so that can help me, go back in my diabetes down before it gets worse." And
Yeah.
my answer right there was no. We got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Who's
Because it's
because
going to be expensive.
she was working, I was working, so I said no. But that was wrong of me saying no,
Yeah.
like right away, instead of like, hey, let's talk about it. My mind, like I said, it was negative. I wasn't stopping and thinking about, it was kind of being
Her health. Yeah.
selfish, just thinking about myself. So right away in there, I still remember she was like, oh, then she's like, you know what? This is over with me and you, I don't want to be together. That was the first thing. And my daughter was a thing about to be 2, close to be 2.
Okay. How
So
old is she now?
she's 7.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. Yep, she's 7. Okay, so some time's passed, so some healing has definitely,
Oh yeah.
it sounds like,
Oh
definitely,
yeah.
really improved everything.
It was tough though. I mean, I'm telling you, it was tough. Even till now, sometimes it's because she's not with me. She's with
Yeah.
her, and she only comes with me on vacation. So sometimes it gets on me. Like when I'm working out or something, I just start crying, and it kind of wants me like my mindset wants to shift, and when it kind of gets me to get like depressed and be like, I'm not gonna do anything. No, I always turn it around. Every negative,
You have yeah, you
I
have
always
to.
turn it around.
You have
Always. That's
to.
why.
It'll eat you
That's
up.
why.
Yeah.
It will eat, trust me. Yes, it will
Yeah.
eat you up. So that's why everybody that is watching here, anything, because I mean, we're going through a lot of things right now. COVID-19, the rioting and everything. So your mind is, if
A lot
you
of
are,
people losing their jobs too.
your mind, yeah, the job, yeah, your mindset is just like, I'm at home and you're waiting. But why would you be waiting? This is the best time for you to start something. Like I said, join an MLM, whatever you want to do. You want to start a side hustle, partners, do it now. Because if you don't do it now, when? And time, it's very precious. Time is very precious because it's gone. Everything that we did yesterday is gone. So if you want to go back to it, are you going to go back to what you did yesterday? You can't.
Yeah,
So you have
there's
to.
only 2 times to start. One was yesterday, you should have started yesterday, or right now. Yeah,
Or
right now is what you can control. You can't control what happened yesterday. So guess what? You should start now. So,
you should.
yeah.
Yeah, you should start now, and you gotta get your mindset of being fail fast. You have to fail fast and don't be afraid of failing. Fail fast, and
Failure's actually good because that's how you
yep,
learn. That's how you learn. So,
yep. You learn when you fail fast. I mean, and you will see that you will make that mistake because if you come again to it, you're like, hey, I already failed on that. So how can I make it better? So how can I make myself better? How can I make the business better? How can I make the partnership better? You start asking a lot of questions, and then you start writing because you have to write everything down. You cannot keep everything on your mind. That used to be my problem. My mom is like, write your stuff down. Write your stuff down. You're gonna forget. No, it's out here. Nope, no, it's not. You're gonna forget it.
and that's
You got.
totally true. And that's the same with me too, because there was lots of years, even I do write a lot, but a lot of it I was voice messaging and keeping on my phone for
Mm-hmm.
years. But it's not the same because the little screen and you have to scroll and then you forget about it. It's digital. You don't have the physical thing. So it makes a huge difference when you actually write on paper. And I feel also when I'm writing stuff on paper, because I journal too. I have journals, I have my notes, I have projects that I basically compile it all in because it's life in general. But everybody does it differently. So my journal is like, what projects I'm working on, finance stuff, everything. And it's not very chronological or anything like that either. I'm very loose with it. But I feel like when I'm writing it and I actually see it, it's released from me. And with that release, it gives me some peace. too, because if it's something negative, like something that I'm going through, maybe it's a journal entry and just, reflecting on something that's hurt me or something that I feel like I can't overcome, and I put it on paper and actually read it, I feel much more relieved because it seems like it's so much worse when it's inside. Do you feel the same?
Yes, yes, indeed. Sometimes we have so many things in our heart and stuff like you want to keep it in there, but I think it's better when you write it down. And sometimes even draw it if you want. If you there's artists there that want to draw it. Like I'm not
I
an artist
draw.
at all, so
Yeah.
I know I saw that. I was going through your
Yeah,
stuff before
that's
today,
actually my painting right there.
and
Yeah.
I saw that you have your books too on
Oh yeah.
Amazon, your
Yeah, my
coloring books. I
coloring book.
was like,
Yeah,
this
I
is
did those
awesome
a
because
couple years ago.
that's I don't know why, but I just a couple of days ago, I actually found that that makes me be in peace. I thought that reading made me be in peace because I love reading, but
Mhm.
I found out that I love coloring. Like I'll sit
Oh,
down and those like your coloring books, I'm gonna go and get some because I have so many. And I
yeah.
sit
I
down.
have like 6 more I have to finish. They're really
Oh, that's
close.
good.
They are really
That's
close to being finished, but I was going through a life struggle myself when I was working on them, and so they took the back seat. And it's
mm,
terrible that you have to like something you're so passionate into that, um but never give up. Like I still have the files, I still have everything. I just got to finalize it and it can get released to
I
publish.
know.
So
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
I'm
Yes,
excited for that you're gonna get it
thank
published, man.
you. Thank you.
And and like I was saying, I'm gonna get to the meat of the story right now.
Yeah,
But
let's
like I was
go
saying,
for it. Yeah. So what happened?
like I'm gonna get to the meat. When we were there, all that happened, and my daughter saw we were, in an argument, and even though she was little, she started crying. Like the kids know. I'm telling you, the kids know. Whatever the age, the kids know what's going on. And so I was like, please don't. I started crying. Just give me another. No. And then into my daughter got in the middle of us, and she decided, okay, I'm gonna give you another chance. But after the days and months passed, I already saw that it was not the connection no more because I don't know. I know it now, but at that time I didn't see it too much because when that happened, we were together and everything still, but it was like it was a
You were
change of
forcing
her.
it, like you were forcing
Yeah,
that
like if I
that
was forcing it,
connection.
that connection, like when she said it was done, I guess that as a woman, you get to the point where that's it, I'm exploded and I want to, kind of give it my space. Let's see what can happen.
Mhm.
And that should have happened, I'll give you the space. You could kind of see yourself and see why we can work together, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So all that passed, and we were forcing everything together. We were in a new job together. We were working for a company. No, we were working for a hospital. We were cleaning a hospital, and
Yeah.
that's how I saw like the little moments. Like I don't think we're clicking anymore. But I was like, okay, I was trying to do my best again, opening the door, in the car and being a gentleman again, because you have to do that even till now. Like no matter what, you have to do those. Now I understand between. So I started doing that, but I still didn't feel that click. It was one day. I was so happy. It was a Friday, and she was feeling bad. She didn't go. She said, "I can't go to work." I said, "That's fine. I go to work myself." So I went into work, and I said, "All right, it's Friday." I got out. I said, "I'm gonna go buy some pizza." I came back home, and there was nobody at home. And I was
Oh
like, "Okay,
no.
maybe." I was like, "Maybe she went to my mom's house, or she went to her aunt's." And I saw a note in the table, and I was like, "Okay, this is weird." I went and
Different. Yeah.
I saw the note and I started reading it, and it said, "I know I love you and everything, but this ain't gonna work anymore. So just you go left and I go right, and let's just end it. But I'm taking your daughter." And right there, when I read that last thing, I went ballistic, man. I tore that paper up. The apartment, I threw the sofas. I started just
Yeah, you
making
were
a big
upset.
mess. I
Yeah.
was upset, and I just sat down in the corner and I was like, where are they at? I'm like, I need to go find them. And I was losing too much energy out of that madness and everything that I was pushing. I was feeling already like I wanted to faint. And I went and
Well, it's
grabbed
a lot. It's a lot at once,
a
not
lot at
only,
once.
yeah, you're like, well, where is she?
Where is
Where'd
she?
she go? Where's my daughter? Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a lot.
And boom, I grabbed the car and I left. And I was just thinking, I'm going to her best friend's. And I went to the best friend. She's not here. she's here. I was mad. I went inside there. That's very wrong what I did. It's not my house. But when you're angry, man, you're doing stuff that you're not supposed to. I went inside their house and looking for her and calling the name, and she wasn't there. And I went a couple of other houses. I didn't go in anymore. I was just asking. So I was like, I left. And so I decided she has to be with her aunt because her parents, they don't live here. They're in Mexico.
Hmm.
So I was like, she has to be with her aunt. So I went there and she wasn't in there. She let me go in. She said, go, you can check. She's not here. And while I was there, the phone rang and it was her.
Oh,
And
well,
the
that's good.
answer,
At least she called.
she called, but not me though. She called her aunt.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
yeah.
She didn't know
And
you were there.
yeah, she didn't know. So I took the phone and I was like, hey, where you at? I've been looking for you. Why did you took her? What happened? I read the note and I was asking too much at that time, too much questions. She's like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear from you. Like, why? You got to come over here so we can talk. No, no, no. So she just hang up. And after that hang up, I mean, the aunt didn't know where she was. So I was just confused. So I was just like, I didn't even want to go to tell my parents what was going on. So I went back home and sit down and I was like, oh, man, I was already like, I have to go to work. Like I was thinking so many things, I have to go to work tomorrow, but I want to know where they at. And so the day when I went to work and when I got out from work, I went to my mom and I went to my mom's place and I was like, Mom, she's like, I already know. Moms already know. She's like, I already know what happened. I was like, oh, damn, how did that how that fast? She called me.
Yeah. Oh,
She's like, she called
I
me. We
see.
talked about it, and then she's saying that she wants to scare you and giving you some time. You're acting up crazy. You gotta man up, and she's doing this, and she said she wants to talk to you next Thursday. So I was like, let her. Don't call, nothing. Let the time to next Thursday. I can't do it. I was still
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Well, it just happened. So
Yeah.
you're very sensitive at that time still.
She's
Yeah.
like, she's like, you can stay here if you don't want to go back to the apartment. Just be here now. I said, I just go back home. And I was like, she gave me food, and everything. I come down and I know that she said you can call. So I remember that we did call. I call. She was already in Mexico because when she left. Oh no, hold on. I'm skipping the story. I
Okay.
mean, at that time when my mom said Thursday,
Yeah.
well, boom, it came Thursday, right? So I went back to
Yeah.
my mom's house, and my mom said, "You want to hear the good news or the bad news?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Good news or bad news?" I'm like, "Oh man." She's like, well, wait, let me feed you first before I tell you the news. I'm like, oh man. So she feed me food. I'm like, all right, mom, what's going on? Just, I don't want to hear no good news, bad news. Just shoot it up straight. She's like, well, she left. She went to Mexico already. So my mom was like, I thought that she was going to talk to you on the phone and come here on Thursday, but she's already gone. She's already back in Mexico and she took your daughter with. I was like, wow, right there. I just lost my mind. I didn't even hear my mom.
Now,
I was like,
did she have a place in Mexico or,
yeah,
once she goes, okay.
that's where her parents live. Because
Oh, okay. Okay.
when we met and everything, she was here. She was living with her aunt, but her parents left in Mexico. The parents just came and visit. So
Okay.
I
So
was
she
like,
went to her
oh,
parents.
I was so mad. So I went and grabbed my mom's phone and I started dialing, and the mom answered over there. It's like, let me talk to her, like. And I was like screaming. I was like, no, let me talk to your mom because I don't even know. Her mom didn't even know what's going on
Yeah.
because she just got over there and with the daughter. It's like, whoa, what's going
Like
on?
maybe
What?
like a little vacation or something.
Yeah, like what are you doing
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
And my mom looked at me and I like they didn't even pass me to her, so I gave it to the phone and they talked to each other, mom, like the both grandmas. And then I wasn't ready to talk. They're like, no, you're not ready to talk again. You're just gonna be fighting and fighting and fighting again. And that's what happened, man. We were always fighting on the phone, and it was sad to know that when that happened, and she was over there in Mexico. Um, I I was still working on my DACA with the immigration.
Okay.
My DACA, they give you 2 years of
Yeah, it's a
work.
while. It's a while. I
Yeah,
have some
so
friends that had to go through the process. So
I
yeah,
was
it's
barely on
a
the
while.
process, and my mom saw that on my eyes. Do not go to Mexico and go get your daddy, because I already see it in your eyes that you're just gonna go get her. But if you go, you ain't coming back, and you've been living here all your life to go over there. So sit down and let's talk about it and see what we can, figure out. So at that time, I was just so crazy. She's over there and I'm like, what am I gonna do? So God is so huge. At that time, I lost belief of God. I lost belief of myself. I was just a soul walking in the earth, like lost. I was
You were
lost.
drifting
I
with
was drifting lost. And my mom was like,
yeah.
you gotta believe in God. No, why? Why would I believe in him? He's not. I started just saying so many
He's not
bad things
helping
about
me. You know?
he's not helping me. And I was like, I don't want I'm like, don't even tell me about church, none of that. And it was just horrible that my mom's like, she's like, you need to go find a job again because you lost your other job because of what it is. So I found two more jobs. I was working, she's like, you at least gotta work two jobs so you can, find we were trying to figure out how we were gonna maybe be together and come back. So I
Mhm.
was so confused. I got two jobs. And it's sad to know that on those two jobs, like I said, I was lost and I was crying. One of the jobs was I was making tacos at a gas station. You know, the little gas station when you make
Yeah.
tacos
Yep.
breakfast.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
doing
like a
that, and
7-Eleven type thing. Yeah.
yeah, the food was
But
good.
you were just trying to stay busy, it sounds like. Just
Yeah, yep,
I don't know what I need to do. At that time, did you even think about like getting the courts involved or anything like that?
yeah.
Or
That's next.
okay.
That's next. Without that happening, my sister came home and she was like, "Hey, look, I found this card. It's a lawyer. I mean, somebody talked to me and they gave me this card. Said if you needed any help, you can call. So I see that you're going through this. I don't know who's the lawyer. She gave me the card and I called her. I called the number. We made an appointment. I went up over there and I told her the whole thing that went on. So we start, and then boom, the case started. We started going in the case, and I had to because this was more like like not kidnapping, but like you just taking the kids without permission, like
Yeah.
my
Yep.
permission.
But out of
So
the country. So that's
out
that's
of the country.
definitely yeah, that's definitely, more severe than out of state. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when the whole story happened. Like I didn't see my daughter for 2 years and a half. So in
Wow.
those 2 years and a half, I
Wow.
was calling Washington.
Wow.
I had to
Is this
write.
because the court system's so slow that just going to get a court case like even heard and then finding that getting together the proof because you have to have proof before you can like say anything.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it just the long process?
it was a long process. Like
2.5 years.
two
So
and a half years, I didn't
yeah,
see her. Like when I called Washington D.C. and I talked to like the head guy of that where they go find the kids, and they told me what I had. They sent me a big packet, and like my story I'm telling you right now, guys, I had to write it down. I had to write it
yeah,
down on the paper and
yeah.
send it to them. So I wrote everything down. I did everything from the book they sent me. I sent it back, and I had like 5 different numbers of 5 different people from Washington and calling me. So how do you want to do this? And I said, I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to take her away from her. I just want to find out how we can, be
Work it
peaceful and how
out.
work
Yeah.
it out. And I told him what was my situation, that I was working on my DACA and all of that stuff. And then she couldn't come back because she didn't have she only came over here with her visa. So she needed to work on that
Oh.
visa. So her visa expired, so she couldn't come back. And with all of this, I know she wouldn't have wanted to come back.
Oh
So
yeah.
we started going with me and the lawyer and working everything out. And she's like, you got to work with the Washington and myself. And it was a lot of money involved in there, a lot
Oh
that I
yeah.
had to, and
Court's
stuff
not
that
cheap.
I didn't even I didn't even know how I, pull it out. And the months start passing. And then one of the people in Washington comments is like, hey, you know what? We really want to help. And she told me this is like, um, find out where they, because they wanted to find where they live so they can go and find them and talk to them, but I didn't know the directions there. So she's like, you can find anything that she can send a letter or something to me. I'm willing to help and bring her back and give her a work permit. I was like, bringing her back and giving her a work permit, so you can have your kid and y'all be here, even though
Yeah.
if you're not together, at least we're helping her out. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa. I was like, those are good news. I mean, not for me, but for her.
For her. Yeah.
So she's like, please call her, talk to her. So at that time, we already were talking on the phone.
Oh, that's good.
But it was I was fighting. Oh, this is your fault. It was just talking about
Negative. All the
things, negative
negative.
things. The things that happened. And I know all of the things that were my fault. I confronted them and I knew what they were, and it
But
still
you took
hurts what
ownership of it.
I took ownership, even though
Yeah,
it
that's good.
hurts that it was bad.
Strong.
So
Yeah.
I talked to her and I said, hey, you know what? We don't have to be together or anything, but this is what they told me. And I told her all the good news, it's for you. And she didn't listen. It went one to her ear, and then the time passed. And I told her again, and then in Washington they said that's it. The opportunity is gone. It was just at that time because the time was passing too much.
Temporary. Yeah.
And then soon they gave me a court date in Mexico,
Hmm.
and it was like 3 days, like 3 days ahead. And I was like, I can't go because I'm like, the DACA don't even let you go over there. Well, they did. They had to give you like a permission so you can go there for a couple of days. But I'm like, I don't have it yet. So I'm like, they're still working on it. So I'm like, how am I gonna? So I went to court to my lawyer and said, like, but what's happening? They want me to go to Mexico. So we figured out that out, and we moved the court date to later on.
Yeah.
And at that time, we were fixing the everything out, and we were still calling, and I was sad. With all of that stuff happening, like my life was still, miserable. I was working at those two jobs. I was tired every day and
Yeah. You were
crying
struggling every day just to stay focused. You know.
yep,
So,
yep,
yeah.
crying and not knowing what to do until God found me again. Somehow a lady, a pastor from a church found me, and then she's like, hey, I know where you going. She started telling me stuff that I'm like, I don't even know you. And she knew, she kind of was pointing some stuff that what was happening to me. And I was like, oh, this is
Did you
weird.
go to church, or she just kind of ran into you
No,
one
so
day?
we just ran in through
Wow.
because
You,
at that time
you
I
just
didn't go
felt
to,
like you really needed to hear something.
because
And
remember, I gave up on God. So I wasn't not
yeah,
going to church or
yeah.
nothing.
Well, I
So
didn't know. Maybe you just like walked by a church, just happened to, walk in. But
no,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I don't know if I was at the store or something, and she just saw me. And she said that she was a pastor, and she said, "Hey, you need to come to my church." And she started saying a little bit, "I know what you're going through." And I was like, I told her, "I don't even know you. I don't even believe in God no more. Why would I go to your church for? You
Yeah.
just
But
wasting my time."
she felt that you needed to hear something. Yeah.
But when she started saying that stuff, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna give it a chance." So she's like,
Yeah.
"Can you come to church tomorrow?" I was like, "Okay." So I just dressed up and put a tie on, and my mom gave me her Bible. I said, "Take your Bible." I was like, "Okay." So I took the Bible, and you're not gonna believe, right when I stepped into church, I started crying. Not because I wanted to cry, the spirit was just hurt. So
Yeah.
I was just crying and crying, and I looked at Jesus Christ, like they had him in the church right there, and I said, looked at him, and I still remember this, like, why am I crying? I don't believe in you anymore. Why is all this crying happening on me? And now I know why, because of the spirit was broken.
Yeah.
So the couple of days that I started going there, and she set me at the front and talked to me and said, you got to come back, you got to believe. And I was like, but I don't, he's not helping me. Look, time is passing. I still not seeing my daughter. And I was telling her everything, but it's going to heal you. So I kind of, I started, going in there a couple of times. And even at night, they had a church at night at 7. So I started
Yeah.
going to that. And those little things, I started kind of getting my peace back. And once, I think it was the 1 month passed, and I walked in again into church, no more crying, no more crying. So
We're feeling
I knew
better.
that the spirit was getting better and better. And she told me, hey, she's like, we have a next month we have a church, not a party, but what they have, and there's gonna be like 100
Like an
150
event.
people.
Yeah. Hmm?
Do you want to come to the event? And I was like, yeah, sure. But I didn't know that the event was gonna be about my story, like going
It
out there and
was.
talk to, yeah. And so I got
Wow.
in there and sit down, and she started talking and everything, and she started saying, well, we have somebody here that was struggling. And I was like, whoa, I was like sitting on the
Who
back. I
is
didn't
it?
even
Who
sit.
is it?
I'm like, who
Like,
is this?
who is coming to talk? Yeah.
And then boom, she calls my name. I was like, whoa. I was like, yes, come in here. And she's like, and she's in the mic. She's like, I want you to tell the whole denomination of the church that come here your story and what's going on. And she gave me the mic, and then right there I said, I don't need the mic. I'm speak up from my heart. And I speaked up from my heart, and all those 150 people that were there, and it felt great, like me pushing it out, telling my
You got to
story.
get relief.
And then, I mean, after I finished, a lot of people, had a lot of questions. So kind of said, yeah, that's fine.
Helping
Ask me
them.
questions, open up on questions, and from there, I was like, I felt great. I was like, okay, there's a light out of the tunnel that that it's there, even though it's taking too much time. So the court date was coming, and I was like, the lawyer she's my best friend now. She decided not to charge me anymore. She said, you know what, I'm gonna make everything possible on me
Yeah.
that you see your daughter.
That's great. So that was, let's see, so she was already, your daughter at this time was like 4.5, almost 5. Is that correct?
No, at that time she might have been, because she was two, because I got to see her again when the court thing happened. She was
Yeah,
5. She was about 5
it
when I
was
got
about
to see
5.
her again.
Okay.
When I got to see her again, because the court did happen, and the lawyer and me had to dress nice. We had to go to an appointment with the immigration because they
Yeah.
had to sign. They had to sign a because my DACA wasn't ready, so they had to sign a permit for me to go to court. And the lawyer was like, "Okay, so you want to go to court?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Jesus, our connection's getting interrupted. Hold on.
Ye- oh,
Okay,
sorry.
we got disconnected for a second. Okay, so you went to court and you saw your daughter, and you were still dealing with um, immigration and being a citizen. And so let's skip ahead a little bit because we're running a little bit low on time here.
Gotcha.
Um, so I guess how did that get resolved? How did the court you're already done with court, I assume, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you're not
Yeah.
going
Right now,
to
there's no
anymore.
more court. Yes.
Okay. Is your wife in the States, or is she still in
No.
Mexico?
She's in Mexico. She stayed over there. She's having her own life over there.
Okay.
But right now, there's no more fighting. Nothing. And we're seeing, what's the positive thing for our girl, like for
Okay.
us to work together and
But
have a better
your
future for her.
daughter's still in
She's
Mexico,
in Mexico.
and then she
Yes.
comes
But
over
I see her now,
and
so she
sees.
comes over for vacation. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So what was any other major takeaways from the court system and how you had to deal with, just the court and you finding peace with your ex-wife, just because she did basically, take away your child for
Yeah.
2.5 years. And, what, I guess, was it, having the spirit back in your life and the church behind you that really helped you forgive all that?
Yes. Yes. I forgive. Like at that time when I saw her, because the court date, remember, it was in Mexico, not here. So
Yeah,
I prayed. The stamp was on. I went to Mexico. We had the court date. I was nervous because when I got in there, guys, I went by myself. She had 4 lawyers, 3 lawyers with
wow.
her. So I'm like, how am I gonna, I don't know anybody there. It was in Juarez, in Mexico. But this is how God is big. The judge that came for the meeting, he came out and he's like, mm-mm, I don't want no lawyers. I don't want nobody. I just want the mom and the dad in my office. I don't want to hear from no lawyers. Just stay outside. I was like, whoa, this is good. Because the lawyers, if we were, I was thinking we were gonna have like the court with, outside and everything. No, only me and her. So that's where we decided everything. He came with the big calendar. He's like, guys, tell me what's going on. How can we make it happen right here? What do we got to do? No more fighting. So me and her right there. So I decided, she was little. So I decided, because I took a pack of papers right there that I could have showed the judge of things that she said that, I know when you're mad, you're not supposed to say. But
Yeah.
if I would have shown him that, I would have got custody of her like this. But I have so much heart that I said I can't do that. I put the papers aside and say, you know what, Judge, I'll get her for vacations, and she's still little. Let her keep it with mom so she could be with mom. She said, okay. So we're moving fast, and so we decided the days and everything came with paper. We had to sign papers and everything got to it. Then they said, okay, they bring you your daughter, because my daughter they had it somewhere else. Because when everything happened, what I said that they wanted the directions. I'm just gonna go back. I know the time is gone. I'm gonna say this fast. The cops went to look for her because I found the directions. So they found her. They went to go look for her at midnight. They found her, knock on the door, and they took her away and took her to a different place. That's what hurt me the most, because where they had her, they treat her so bad. And we
Wow.
try. Yes, they try.
Wow.
They. My daughter had a little mark on her private part, and I was like, nothing happened. We took her to the doctor. She's good.
Good.
But we try to sue that place. Mm-mm. You know how the government and all that stuff was protected. Like, wow. So that happened. That's the most thing that hurts me when I always think about it, because I was like,
Yeah.
she was there for a whole week, and a lot of things happened there that we don't know.
Yeah,
Only
of
her.
course. Yeah, of
And
course.
now that I get to see her and everything, we see, and she tells us, a little bit of everything that went through
That
there.
happened on that
Yes,
week. And that's
trust.
that's destructive too when other like during the situation like you went through where they're just like, well, we're just gonna take the child and put him over there right now because it's a lot on. It's just like a person like going to like even like a jail or have to go to a shelter. It takes them out of the environment that they're used to. So and just being so young and vulnerable and yeah, I can just imagine, what she was feeling and how she was she just probably just didn't understand either
No,
at
she was
that point.
little.
Yeah, she was little.
But that was the best moment, guys. I know the time is up. The best moment was that when they brought her to the court and I saw her, I just started crying. And she looked at me like she didn't even know who I was. She just straight went to mom, and I was just in tears. So I went down and got on my knees, and the mom said, "That's your dad." And I was just happy, to see her. So we got her. She was already with us, and I got to go to her house and ate at her house, and we got to eat and everything, and now we got her. So at those time, I still, I got the paperwork of where I can see her, but 2 years and a half it took me for all of that stuff to happen, all of the struggles, all of the negative that I went through, the things that I, didn't want to do. My mom supported me all the way till now. And she's like,
Right.
you got a vision. And that's how I know now what's my purpose. I know what's my destiny. I know what's my why. And it's kids. And it's the kids. And it's the kids. And I'm going to repeat it because I have so many things that I could have got a better job. And I have work at a daycare always. I've been working at a daycare for a while and
So
different
that's what you
daycares.
do now? You do
Yeah,
daycare?
yeah, I've been working at
That's
daycares now,
great.
and guess what? How I found out? Every single kid that works that I take care of, they love me so much that I got like invited to parents' houses. The parents give me their numbers. Everywhere the daycare that I left, they didn't want me to leave. Even the owners, they're like, "You gotta stay." But I mean, they were not gonna pay you more. So I'm like, how am I gonna stay here when, you know, for the same pay? But I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
At that time, I was like, I want to do it for the kids. But you gotta pay bills. You gotta
you
eat
do.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started realizing, God's giving me the sign because I could have got a better job. I had other applications too. They're gonna pay me more, but my heart was like, no, it's the kids. I want to be, you know, create something for the kids because they're the future. They're the next generation, the next president, the next CEO,
They
or
are.
they're gonna keep your
Yeah.
legacy. And I said, I had to focus on this. I had to focus on what I can do for them. What can I do for myself to do that? With my brand, with what I gotta keep on growing. So I knew right in there. I said, God, that's my sign. God said, I gotta keep here. I gotta push myself and create. And I wanna. This is something that I wanna start doing when I start going better and better, leveling up myself. I want to create a foundation for the kids that have diabetes, the kids that have autism, any kids that have any kind of diseases, or any kids that need help with backpacks. I want to create that foundation and
Yeah,
help the kids,
that's
and
wonderful.
push them out there. Either they want to be kidspreneurs, or either they want to go to school, either whatever they want to do, we have to be
Yeah.
for them.
Yep.
This is a lot of things that I'm
So you
learning
want
being
to
in the
be,
day.
yeah, you're going to be a great role model, definitely, to like a
All,
lot of kids.
all the things I learned
Well,
from being in the
you had to go through that struggle to actually see that, to see your true path and true passion. So, there is silver lining there. So,
Oh yeah. So that's like the name of the show. Your message is to everybody to know
yeah,
that
message of
the
hope,
s- the
the
the,
struggle to the success. Yep.
the message. I mean, it's for everybody, man. Everybody goes to a lot of things. I went through this. A lot of people go through divorce. A lot of people go to deaths. A lot of people have their own stories, and that story is that what builds you. Is what builds your character, what builds your mindset, what builds you. That when we always say never give up, we gotta say never give up on yourself. Because when we say never give up, you give up on your business, and people are already telling you, well, see, I told you 6 months. No, 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 no. You can give up on your business. That's fine, because it was not meant for you, or maybe it's meant for you later. But never give up on you. Never give up on yourself. because you're the one that it's the one that pushing yourself, nobody else, not your parents, not nobody. You're the one that is making your dreams come true, no matter what it is that you want in life. Entrepreneurship, businessman, businesswoman, or you want to be still working for somebody but you want to move up, that's fine. You do what's best for you. Remember that everybody goes through that struggle, everybody's hurting, but you have to find yourself. You have somehow in there in your spirit, there's that little person in you that is like, oh God, I have something better out there for myself. I have something much greater, a difference that I have to make. No matter what the world tells you, everybody has that difference that you want to make. And you got to go out there and make that difference, no matter what, no matter how much you fail, no matter how much you're down and you don't have no money or it's hard and whatever it is, those risks, the stuff is always going to be there. Even if you reach, you're still going to be having that problem. But it's that humble heartness that you have in you that is going to drive you to whatever you want to do, that is going to push you to whatever you want to do, that you will make your dream come true. And be humble and help others. First, help yourself, help your family. When you have enough money, enough stuff that you, because money is an option for you to help people. It's an option to help anybody that you can. Don't listen to people that say that money is the root of our evil. It's not, because you need to have money to help. I know everybody thinks about it different. Everybody has different opinions, but that's fine. But the message is have heart, be humble, fail. Make sure that you get to the toughest times fast, the hurting times fast, because that's what is gonna make your character. That's what is gonna make you. And trust me, even now that I'm doing, better and better, it still hurts, the past and everything that my mind comes. I start cry. If you're a man, cry. It's fine. I cry. I'm not afraid of crying. You had to build that character, guys. Build you, nobody else's. God created you in His own image with your gift, and whatever He created for you, you will find out and run with it.
That's a wonderful message. Lovely, lovely message.
Thank you.
Yeah, go
Hey
ahead.
guys, and I'm happy. I'm gonna go get my daughter next in a couple of weeks, so I'm happy to go see her.
Oh, good. That's great. How long is she staying with you?
For like 2 months, I think. So
Oh,
I'm happy.
wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's going to be amazing. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great. That's great. Now, I do want to touch on, you said that you did have your own podcast, right?
yes, I do have my own podcast.
Okay. Can you tell others that are listening in what your podcast is about and where they can find that?
Yes, guys. My podcast is called the Push Power to Power Show. And I just recently changed the name because when I started it 4 or 5 years ago, it was called the Jesus Ortiz Diary Show, Teaching for Success. And like you can see right here is my logo, and
Yeah,
is the
I like
power
that.
button.
The power
Is the
button. Yeah.
power button. So it's see how God works. The Push Power to Power Show, and I have the power button. Everybody has the power in them. Either you turn yourself on or either you turn yourself off. That's your decision. So you can find me you can find me on my page, Geraldine Media, and I'm
What is it
on,
again? Can you say it a little slower?
it's called Geraldine Media.
How do you spell it?
Is YERALDY, and then media.
Okay. And I'll have the link to that as well on
Yes,
the
and
description.
I'll I'll text it to you so you can see.
Yeah,
And
that'd be wonderful.
I have all my interviews there. I have a lot of stuff there that I go through. And right now I'm focusing on the show because that's my passion, having the show. And since I've been doing it for 5 years, I want to have my own studio and everything. So right now I'm pushing to get more interviews in there and everything, and help other and run advertisement and everything. So I already got my stuff about lightning and stuff. So I got everything ready.
Good.
But it's all about the humbleness of what you have in there and help others, man. And push that out, man. Never give up. If you have an opportunity to be somebody podcast, do it. And I know some of us are afraid or are shy to be on camera. Well, there's people out there that they can help you. Like I can help you. I can help you be not afraid on camera and be out there. I was there once. Now I love being on camera. I love being on the show. I love, creating content for others, creating blogs for others, So that's
Mhm.
what I'm and doing right now. So look, before I end, yesterday was my last day of the daycare because I said, if not now, when? So now I'm doing full-time entrepreneurship. If not now, when? And
I,
this is my time.
this is my favorite saying. I had it made into a bracelet. It says, "One day, day one," and it's
I like that.
you can do it one day, in the future, right? If we have a future, right? We don't know how long we're gonna live, or you can start today. Today could be your day one, and this is
I love that.
officially your day one. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you're sharing your
I'm
story today, and it's ordained. Today is supposed to be your day one.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I got a lot to work and I already have list and everything. I've been pushing myself. My mom said, "Hey, if you don't do it now, you have to do it now. I see
That's
yourself." She even told me,
That's
she's like,
wonderful.
"I already see yourself being successful, but if you wait, it's not gonna happen."
Yeah, because you're gonna end up falling back onto something negative, and just push, just keep pushing. So
I want to make.
if people want to get a hold of you to be on your show, or just has questions for you, would Facebook be the best contact, or your
Yeah,
website?
yeah, guys. Yeah, can go find me in my regular Facebook, Jesus Ortiz, my personal page, or my page, my business page. It's everywhere on YouTube, Twitter. It's Geraldine Media, and I'll post it so you can post it.
Yep, I'll post it.
And
Okay.
my personal page, and my website is www.geraldinemedia.com.
All
Any
right.
questions, anything? Yeah, don't hesitate, man. If you want to tell me your story or you want to talk without the camera, let's do it. If we can help each other and make your day better and smile,
Yep.
that's the best
We need
thing.
more positivity in the world, and Jesus is here to help spread the message. So definitely connect with him if you have any questions for him, or if you just want to be on his show or say hi, or whatever. He's open to hear your story. Thank you guys for being active listeners. I'd like to take a minute and just say thank you for being a subscriber on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can go see the YouTube videos at Amena. That's AMENA .media, MEDIA. Amena.media will take you right to the YouTube page. If you are interested in listening to the podcast, or if you're already listening to the podcast, thank you for being a subscriber on one of the 8 networks. To get to the podcast list and find your favorite network, you can go to Anchor, like the boat anchor.fm/1up, and that's spelled out. That's anchor.fm/1up. My name is Amena K. Thornton, and today we are covering the series Message is Hope, Struggle to Success. And our guest here today was Jesus Ortiz, right? Did I say that right? Okay,
Yes,
thank
man.
you. And Jesus, is there any final quote, or final thing that you want to say to the audience today?
I just wanted to say, guys, God bless you, and God bless you too, ma'am. And thank you for letting me be in your show. And guys, just keep on pushing. Don't consume all this negativity that you're watching right now. Consume positivity that you have already on you. Please do that, because if you consume all this negativity, riots and COVID and everything, you're gonna be in the same spot. And like I said, time is precious. And when you want to do something, you're 70. You can still do it at 70, but when you can do it now, man, start doing it now. And please enjoy your life, smile, and please spend time with your family. Do that, because we're right here right now. Maybe 10 minutes later we're not, and tomorrow we won't wake up. So please enjoy your life. Be happy, no matter what, man. If you're poor, rich, no matter, that doesn't count for nothing. Just be happy, and you keep on pushing yourself out there, and be humble. Like my hashtag, humble power.
Awesome hashtag. Well, thank you again, Jesus. I totally am excited that you are going on this amazing journey of doing this podcast, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about that in the future. Thank you for being a guest and sharing your story, and sharing it with everybody that's listening on YouTube and the podcast as well. I'm totally grateful. Uh,
I'm
so,
grateful.
have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.
I will. Thank you. God
Thank
bless you.
you. God
God
bless
bless
you too.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.